marketing. Yes. So I am a business strategy and marketing analyst um, for a promising presence company. And today we're going to learn about human-centered design and how to apply it in your business strategy. So yeah, so before we start, I just want to talk a little bit about the company Promising Presence. So we basically help businesses with, it's a business consulting company, and we help businesses achieve their business goals, and we do that through a variety of ways. But we focused a lot on human-centered design, um, sustainability, and business development. So yeah, that's a little bit about our company. So things to keep in mind as we go through the presentation is we want everyone to feel relaxed. We will have a Q&A at the end of the presentation. So feel free, even throughout the presentation, if you have a question, feel free to mention it in the chat. And also we want to see engagement. So if you do have something to say, you can type it in the chat and we'll respond towards the end of the presentation. So if you can write in the chat, where are you from and what industry are you in? Hello. So right now, we're just trying to mention, you know, if you want to just mention where you're from and what industry are you in, or what industry is your business in. And also, while answering that, if you want to just on a scale of 1 to 10, how familiar are you with human-centered design? 1 as in not very familiar, or 10 as in very familiar with the term. And if you can't type, feel free to just say it too. Unmute yourself and say it. All right. Okay, that's fine. We can move on. So the agenda for today is we're gonna talk about first what is human-centered design, and then why is it important for a business to apply human-centered design, and also how to do that, how to apply human-centered design. All right. So you have a great idea. So now what, business owners, when first starting a business, they have an idea, and maybe we're looking to take that idea and make it into something that would allow like an impact to happen, a lasting presence. So as we work through the presentation, we will try to understand, okay, how do we use this great idea in order to make an impact? Because it's one thing to have an idea, but then we have to figure out, okay, how to implement this idea in a way that would benefit your business. So if we first start by mentioning what is human-centered design, and if I were to summarize it, then in 1 sentence, it would be designing for your targeted customers. So yeah, you can move on. So human-centered design is basically it's an approach that focuses on the customer. So it's basically a process where you can understand and address the needs of the customer in every step of the process. So really the goal of human-centered design is to create solutions that would help the business make better products for the customer. So if you see on the diagram on the right, um, human-centered design consists of, you have to consider the people, the technology, the business, and the design, all of that work in order to create an experience that is positive for the customer so that they would also be willing. It needs to bring value to the customer, whatever that you're producing for them. Yeah. So now we have Jessica Walker, who's part of Promising Present, who will take over and explain why is human-centered design, like what is it, how it helps your business.
Yes. Thanks, Tracy. And also thanks, Ty, for pulling together this information to present here today. So I'm really just here in support of all the great things that they've been working on and thinking through. And a lot of the work I've done in my career has been around improving products and improving the experiences for various types of customers. So no matter what you're aiming to deliver, whether you have a business or not, you have a targeted audience. Even if you think about the things you do daily for your family members and your friends, you are looking to serve them. So you're looking to give them something that meets their needs. So in a business, that translates into ensuring that you satisfy those customers. And as you are able to satisfy those customers, you'll be able to increase your sales and to build a stronger brand recognition. A lot of this work goes around understanding who you serve and why you serve them. Being able to distinguish the needs of your customers will help you to stand out, especially if you are in a saturated market. Most ideas that come out of businesses now are not unique. But if you deliver a great experience, your customers will continue to come back to your business and they will also continue to promote your business because they believe in you, they believe in your vision, your mission, and they are your best advocates for your business. So before you get into any form of marketing plans, understanding your customer base helps you develop a strategy to connect with them in a meaningful way in the most appropriate way of reaching them as well. So you want to make sure your messaging is on point. You want to make sure you speak to their values. So what do they enjoy most, right? So for instance, I'm going to throw out an example. If you are a health company, right? And I should use one of the examples here, but I'm just going to say like a health foods brand. Um, you would need to brand your or understand your audience. So you would be looking to understand those who are interested in healthy alternatives, those who are already participating in like healthy foods or healthy exercises. Your audience would not be um, focused on people who have no interest to partake in those things, those who are not interested in exercising, those who are not interested in vegan and gluten-free diets. So that's just one example, but the whole goal is to illustrate that you have to understand what makes sense for you so that you develop your niche approach in developing what you deliver to your customers, right? So with that, why is it important to really hone in on why it's important? If a customer has a great experience with a business, 79% of the time, they're more likely to do business with that company again. So once you deliver a great experience and you understand your customer base and you're able to do it right the first time, those people are more likely to come back to your business and they're more likely to be promoters of your business. So one term that's used in business development or just business in general, it's called the Net Promoter Score. And it's a ranking to understand if a customer would likely recommend your brand. And the scoring is interesting because you have to be between a 9 or 10 to be considered a promoter. So even those who are between 5 and 8, those are not promoters because they had a pretty decent experience, but it was nothing that stood out to them when they engaged with your business. So your goal is to understand your customer base early in your product strategy so that once you deliver something, you get it right sooner rather than later. So that's really what it's about. It's about coming up with ideas. It's about brainstorming. It's about being concerned or caring and empathizing with those you're looking to serve so that you understand what they value most. From there, it's about coming up with ideas to meet those needs. And then it's moving into developing different products or different tests to say, like, would this work for my customer base? Because just because it's a great idea, it may not work for your customers. Then it moves into testing and then learning about it. So you roll out your first set of products, you roll out your first sets of courses. Some things may go well, other things may not. And as you learn, you take that back to the drawing board and you do it again and again and again until you become synonymous with that thing that you're good at. With that, I am going to, and this is what it looks like at large, right? So it's a continual process. You never, as a business owner, you never know everything. Your process should continue to evolve as you acquire more clients, as you acquire more customers. And as you do that, you continue to go back to the drawing board to say, what does my customer base need now? You have to think about behavioral economics. Behavioral economics is the idea that a business has to meet the needs of your targeted audience, right? And those needs evolve. What your customer may need in their 20s is different from what that customer that may need in their 30s, their 40s. Or as you saw when the pandemic hit, there was a larger audience for certain types of goods. So you had those who were able to develop products that focused on being at home, um, products that focused on online solutions. But now that people are more they're engaging outside of the home, they're engaging more in the workplace, they're looking for activities that are not virtual. You would have to go back to the drawing board to see what else is needed, as well as new technologies are released. You also have to understand how can you implement and leverage those new technologies into your business model. It's about scaling as much as possible, reducing overhead, and continuing to push the box, the button open to see what else is out there to open up new doors. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Ty, who's going to walk us through some things to consider as you work through your design thinking.
Hello, everyone. So I'll be talking about what is human-centered design and why does it matter? Human-centered design, also known as design thinking, is user-centered design and human-centered design, which puts people at the core of its products and programs. It's about designing with and not just for the end user, aiming to truly meet the needs of the customer or clients that you may have. So just to break it down a little bit, exactly what human-centered design is and why it matters for the global development community. Human-centered design has its origins in the private sector and feels like user interface design and human-computer interaction. While the development community has long recognized the need for more participatory approaches, this sector still receives criticism for designing for problems instead of designing for people. So again, what is design thinking? Design thinking is a non-linear, sorry, I can't talk, I apologize, interactive process that teams use to understand users. They challenge assumptions, they redefine problems, and create innovations and solutions to prototypes and to further test for your product. So this involves a 5 phase, which are emphasize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. It is our most useful tactic used for tackling problems that are ill-defined or those that are also unknown. So in the user experience design, it is crucial to develop as well as redefine skills so that you're able to understand as well as to address the rapid changes that come about within a user's environment, as well as the behaviors that come with that as well. So we know that the world has become increasingly interconnected and somewhat complex. So we are here in the 21st century, and organizations from a wide range of industry find design thinking as a valuable means to problem solve for their users for the products and services that they're offering. So with that, design teams often use design thinking to tackle, again, those ill-defined and unknown problems, because they can reframe these in a human-centric way and focus on what's most important for the users. So of all the design processes, design thinking is almost certainly the best because it allows for you the ability to think outside of the box. So what does this mean for people, to design for people? So before creating a solution, development professionals, they must first of all thoroughly understand the problem by engaging with the communities and individuals, meaning that they're spending time with them, they're listening to their concerns about the